Good morning. My name is John Paul Wright, lead organizer for Railroad Workers United. Good morning. I have to issue a disclaimer, or at least a point of information. I'm a big fan of Monty Python's and Saturday Night Live. So if this video borders on weirdness, that's why. But I do have some serious issues to talk to you about. Railroad Workers United. What exactly is Railroad Workers United? Well, I got an interesting thing you can try out. You could check your little groovy laptop that you might have, or your phone, and you can go to this little area of your computer here. See this little thing there? You go up here and you type in railroadworkersunited.org. Sometimes you got to put www in front of it. You know how that works. And then you go down here and you type Statement of Principles. See, look here. I already did it for you, kind of like a cooking show. Statement of Principles. Now, keeping in the tradition of reading things in the British accent, I'd like to read our Railroad Workers United Statement of Principles here, but not all of it, just parts of it. For lack of better camera setup here. Unity of all rail crafts. For decades, the carriers have played one craft off each other to our mutual determinant. This lack of unity has contributed greatly to our lack of power, which has in turn hampered our ability to negotiate and enforce good contracts. We are unable to effectively confront the carrier on issues of vital concern to our membership, attendance, crew, fatigue, disability, safety, etc., because we are divided. Now that's one section of the Statement of Principles, and let me read another here that I think is very important, and union people need to understand this. Especially if you watch that CTU strike, you have to understand that was very successful, an amazing story. This is the third bullet of our Statement of Principles. Rank and file democracy. Union leadership is all too often out of touch with the needs and issues of the membership. We need unions that are built upon democratic control by their members. Unions that are not simply dues collection agencies for a few highly paid officials with jobs for life. We need constitutional provisions that include, but are not by no means limited to, direct election of officers at all levels, including general chairman, the right to recall of officers' salaries, expenditure limits, and end to special perks and privileges, proportional representation at conventions, and guarantees of protections for minorities and dissenting views. Now there's all kinds of there's more to that Statement of Principles, but I challenge you as a railroad worker. I challenge you to a duel. No, I challenge you. Go to the website. Read the Statement of Principles. You will find out that you probably agree with most, if not all, of what it is that we're talking about. I'll tell you what Railroad Workers United is not. We're not a union. We can't represent you. But we are an organization that can teach you how to be a union member, a better union member, how to get involved, how to understand your rights, so that when you have a dissenting voice, you can stand firmly on that dissenting voice and demand to be respected. Because these unions belong to everyone that is a member, and you have a right to speak your mind, you have a right to speak your heart, and you have a right to speak your passions. But all too often, some of these things are criticisms. Most of these things are dissenting views, are of course criticisms, and you have a right to be respected. Railroad Workers United is an organization that is growing. It's a grassroots organization. It takes time, but it's very important that you share this video if you are a railroad worker, especially if you are a Railroad Worker United member. Now, on the bottom of this video, down at the bottom there, most likely you're going to see a thing that says share if you're on Facebook, and then it's going to say, who do you want to share this with? You? Well, you don't want to share it with yourself. You just watched it. You want to share it with someone else on your group or your member, whatever. Select some railroad workers from your list there that you know and share this video. That's how we get the message out. Railroad workers are spread out all over this United States, and it's hard to reach some of the far-flung railroad workers. That's what's wonderful about these fancy little computers and telephones we got. So please consider joining Railroad Workers United. $50 a year, folks. 13 cents a day. That's it. 13 cents a day. Now, if I was Sally Struthers, I'd make a big old statement about battered and beat down railroaders, but well, I'm not going to do that. 13 cents. 13 cents. So, thanks for your time. It's important. We've got to come together under an organization that can put the pressure on these unions to do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to further, not destroy our solidarity. Over.